white paint is just kind of white paint, right? Or is it? This is a color called Pearly White by Sherwin Williams. I just finished painting and I wanted to make a video to share with you my thoughts about this beautiful color. I love it for my space, but I can see why other people might not love it so much in their space. And there's a couple of reasons why. I definitely want to talk to you about whites and how to choose the right white for your space. Welcome back. My name is Cynthia with Bliss Home and Garden. When I was coming up with the color choice for this house, I really first started with a feeling I wanted to evoke. I always say that in my videos. What is the feeling you want to evoke? And that's for interior design and landscaping, honestly. What vibe do you want to go for? And I knew that I wanted a coastal vibe. We live near the coast of Georgia, so this totally makes sense for us. I like the textures, like for example, this light fixture has texture, and there's another light fixture behind me here that also has texture, and it kind of makes for a more casual vibe, but the white seems to keep it more elegant. White is that one color that's very, very neutral, that it really can't go out of style. But there are whites that are better than others. I mean, some whites make you feel like, wow, it's nice and airy, and that's the vibe I was going for. And other whites will make it look like, why does it look gray? Why does it look green? Why does it look purple? As you see, there's a whole lot of lights, overhead lights, side lights, all kinds of lights in this scenario, but I'm going to turn them all off and show you what pearly white looks like when there are no lights and in other situations. This is what pearly white looks like on an overcast day and without any artificial lighting. The interior panels of the coffered ceiling are painted in pearly white. And please pay attention to the cabinet area. Right behind it, there's more shadows, so you can see the depth of pearly white be a little bit more intense. Now you're looking at pearly white with artificial lighting, and you can probably tell that the colors have changed. Everything's a little bit different, and so I want you to be able to compare side by side what pearly white does with artificial lighting, different types of lighting, and also what it does with no lighting. I have LED light bulbs in the color bright white. So they have warm white, which is the warmest yellow tone, bright white, which is the mid-range, and daylight, which is the more cool tone. Bright white in this home has made it look a little warmer. This is an eye-opening photo because on the left, you're going to see the bright white, and in the middle, you're going to see the daylight. And the way that the light shines is different. There is a regular old school light bulb in here, and that's what color it looks like. Then this one is the bright white, and then this one is the daylight. Now in this particular scenario, I prefer the daylight. It seems a little more modern, but when I put it in this shade, I actually like it because it is warm, but it's not as yellow. This one is also bright white. So even the lamp shades that you have could really change the way that the light casts based on the color. I have 3 windows that provide natural light. This one is on the west side, this one is on the southeast side, and this one is on the northwest side, meaning that I get light all throughout the day. If you live in an area where you have north-facing windows or you never get south or east light at all, never get direct light, you might consider other colors like Swiss Coffee by Benjamin Moore. In my other home, that was my situation, and a color like this would have really probably been way more gray than I wanted. This is what Swiss Coffee looks like on the left with natural lighting and on the right with artificial lights. Swiss Coffee has an LRV of 83.93, which is pretty darn bright. Let's talk about that. Pearly White has 77 LRV. What does LRV mean? Light reflectance value means that when light hits pearly white, 77% of the light is going to reflect back in the room. It depends on also what things you have in your house. If you have a lot of dark furniture, that's probably not going to help you. But if you have a lot of mirrors or if you have a lot of shiny objects, light furniture, like I do, that LRV of 77 is going to help me even more. That's when a space starts looking airy and fresh, the type of feeling that a lot of people want when they go to Pinterest or they go to Instagram. 77, it's not a white. It's a tinted white. It's definitely got some body to it, but not much, okay? Still going to wash out if you've got a lot of light. So what are the undertones that Pearly White has, and why does it look chameleon-like? These are the hex values, and since there are rarely any true whites, these are the undertones that make up the color: red, green, and blue. The red is what keeps it warm, and the blue is what keeps it modern. So that's why it's a balance of both. Sometimes it looks creamy, and other times it looks more modern and calm. Some people have described this as peachy or rosy or having the red tones come up. For me, that's not the case. If anything, it looks more creamy in my space. If you've noticed, the color of the years from Sherwin Williams and Benjamin Moore, they're all leaning towards these natural colors, and I love that. This is actually my vibe. Since we had a couple crazy years and more people spent time at home and with nature, the popular colors coming up are going to reflect that. Natural linens, the greens, the flower colors. My sister-in-law had me paint her kitchen cabinets and chose a color called Cedar Path for her kitchen island. It's a little more bold than I would have gone for, but she ended up loving it so much that she also painted her pantry door. So the white as the backdrop, it is going to give me the opportunity to really play up with my design. As you can see, that's a blue, and there is a video where I talk about this piece, and I painted this piece. I do have some blues, but if you notice, because I love the garden, those are natural flowers that dried out, and I do have some green. Now let me show you my laundry room. In my laundry room, I also have some green. So I used a color in my laundry room called titanium. And I actually love this color as well. But if you can kind of see, it has the slightest hue of green. Titanium was a color that I really considered throughout the house, but I didn't really want titanium because I thought it was definitely going to be too green for all of the spaces. So it was going to lock me into a certain look. If you're interested in titanium, know that this is an off-white color that has a little bit of yellow-green with an LRV of 70.13. You can look it up at these two different codes. Titanium is a cousin to a very popular color called gray owl, which you may be familiar with. And maybe you are just as sick of the grays as I am, and I'm kind of sick of the greiges, but I was thinking maybe this time an off-white greige like Pearly White would work, because then I could possibly add some sage to interior doors, or maybe the pantry door, or maybe even the kitchen island. I'm not sure. That Pearly White does remind me of the pearls that you find in the oysters and the sand that you look at right there. Then I have my touches of blue and green that keeps me in that coastal vibe. The color that was here before was called Accessible Beige. Let's talk about Accessible Beige so you can compare Accessible Beige with Pearly White. Accessible Beige is a great color for coastal decor. It's more of a true color. It has an LRV of 58, which is more in the mid-range. Of course, you can see here clearly that the Pearly White is definitely a white when compared. Both of these colors are warm because they both have a little bit of a red undertone, but Pearly White just definitely, reflects more light from the outside into the home, so it looks a little bit bigger and brighter inside. But if you like more of a medium body color, Accessible Beige is probably in the same kind of vibe as Pearly White. My kitchen cabinets are painted in pure white, and I'll tell you, I love this color because it is the most neutral white that I have found to date. If you're not sure about a color, this one will work. Before, the house was painted in simply white, and it's a little bit more yellow toned than pure white. And these pantry shelves that I made are also painted in pure white. By the way, I made a video about this pantry a couple of months ago. I worked on this project. It's actually a hack that you may want to watch because you could totally do something like this to elevate your pantry space. I have kept this organized and clean. The only thing from the video that is different is that I now use a marker. I bought these labels like this at the Dollar Tree. I used to have these fancier labels right here. Do you see that? Those were like printed. And I do have a Cricut. I could even go fancier, but I decided that I like these Dollar Tree labels. I can actually change them out. So those are easy to change the label in case I put different things in the bins. Well, those are way more flexible than before. You'll have to watch that video if you want to do something better than your wire racks. If you made it this far, you cannot miss these bloopers. I really want this place to be somewhat, where's my cat? We are on the coast. This cat. Because you don't know how many times I've already edited so that this cat cannot be in there. Beiges that we've been living with, and most of us are a little bit towards the whites. Everybody was doing the Scandinavian kind of white. Well, I can't even concentrate. Zoe! If you've got any tips, or if you have a favorite color you want to share with the world, it just worked out. Maybe you have a dark room and that white was just perfect and it's going to help someone else, post that in the comments. Somebody is going to thank you for it. Remember, guys, you can create bliss at home and in the garden. And until next time, see you later.